Hello and welcome to Our Life Now and Forever. Finally another cozy game, and we're back after longer than I wanted to originally. I'm back, y'all, and we're back with a very cozy demo. This is not the whole game, this is just a demo, and a very fitting one with all the autumn themes. Look at the acorn, look at the mushrooms. Aww. It's been getting colder over here. According to our weather forecast, it won't be warmer than 15 degrees Celsius over the next few days, and this is right up my alley. This is my kind of weather, and I almost cried when it rained today. It's so good to be back, not only with gaming, but also in my favorite season. So, yeah, let's go. Welcome to the Our Life Now and Forever intro demo. It's a preview that includes the first few scenes of the game's prologue. Expansions and improvements to the game will come out as time goes on. For example, the finished version have partial voice acting. This initial demo doesn't have any voiced lines. When the game is complete, the entire story will be playable from start to end for free. However, optional paid DLCs will be available to add in even more scenes. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Also, excuse me if I'm a bit sniffly and raspy. I've just been sick and I'm getting better. I feel a lot better now. I'm just a tiny bit sniffly. And I look like a wreck. That's why there won't be a face cam in this one, because I don't feel like sticking my face into a camera right now. So, I won't. That's the beauty of it. I can just say enough and go. The very start is a brief tutorial that will be skippable in future playthroughs. It'll help you get acquainted with all the many ways your choices can impact how the game plays. At any time, you can press the pref button on the left side of the game screen to open the settings page and make the experience better suited for you. Ooh. You can change the text size, font style, sound, volume levels, turn the light animation elements on off, and other general options. The story of Our Life Now and Forever spans 12 years, with the character you play as beginning as a 10-year-old child and ending as a 22-year-old adult. In between those points are two other stages of life: 14-year-old adolescence and 18-year-old young adulthood. These time periods are referred to as steps 1 to 4. This demo only contains scenes from childhood. You'll be able to determine almost everything about the playable character: name, appearance, personality, pronouns, skills, weakness, how they act, what they feel, and more. Ooh! I didn't know there was character customization in this. Nice! And all of those details can change as you grow up over the course of the game. However, they won't be forgotten. Who you are and who you were is remembered by the game and the characters you meet. Choices you picked up in step 1 can be referenced all the way in step 4. It builds together. Ooh, nice! The goal of Our Life is to let you truly live your own unique life in the quaint mountain town of Golden Grove. Love it. I already love it. There are also two lead characters who will grow up alongside your own MC. Tamarak Bauman and... Oh, I don't want to butcher this. Chu Lin? You'll have the option of being their friend, pursuing one romantically, just having them simply be people you know, letting your connection change over time, and so on. Your relationship is customizable, progresses at whatever rate you want to, if you wanted to. Though there are a couple limits to what you can do. You can't date them both or break up with one after officially getting together. If you've had a lead become your romantic partner, that's permanent. Tamarack is a little girl, she/her, when you meet her. She always identifies as a woman. Shu begins the story as a little boy, but questions their gender as the years go on. Shu will ultimately come out as gender fluid, he/they. Oh, that's me. I'm they/them. Our Life Now and Forever doesn't include the option to romance a strictly male identifying character. But we do have another game, yeah. Our Life Beginning and Always, if that's your preference. I'm okay. I'm completely fine. But yeah, our Life is basically their visual novels, as far as I understood. And they have a couple of them. I think 3? I'm not sure right now. There will be other characters to interact with and befriend besides Tamarack and Shu, though those two are the main focal points. How well you get along with other kids, your teachers, your mom, and so on is still in your control. With those basics mentioned, the tutorial will move on to a new screen now to explain another major gameplay element. Yeah, let's customize it. The first thing you'll do in Our Life Now and Forever is sign appearance and basic details of your character. You'll be able to select the first name, last name, and add a nickname too. You can also give your MC their general size, choose the dominant hand, and so on. Even that? Damn, that's really in depth. I'm impressed. This is so cool. The sex or gender of the MC is customizable as well. That'll be addressed more later. The remaining parts of the section are all the many ways you can edit the appearance of your character. A cute dress-up doll icon is included to give you an idea of what your playable character is like. You can change every aspect of the doll, from the shape of the head and eyes to the hairstyle to the coloring of each element to what they wear. Customization can be extra unique by having the hair and or eyes be 2 different colors. Tweaking the exact tint of the colors, flipping the direction of different elements, and more. Jesus Christ, this is really, really in depth. There's even one special tint that allows you to exactly match the hair and or eye color to your biological mom in the story. You can stick to preset options if you're happy with them or want to get through the customization faster. You can even randomize the MC and go with what chance gives. What you choose will be referenced in the script, and the icon image you put together will appear on the textbook when your character speaks, unless you turn that element off. The game has a first-person perspective, so you don't see your MC standing alongside the non-playable characters in a normal character sprite style. First round, the designer will set some important basics like eye color and skin tone that will never change for the rest of the story. Almost everything else can be altered eventually. Okay, so you can basically dye your hair and such. Get the option to use the screen to recustomize your MC significantly at the start of each new step. You'll be able to change your first name, nickname, pronouns, etc., what they wear at scars, etc. if you want. Ooh, that's cool, with the scars. Along with the major recustomization sections at the start of steps. Multiple times during each step you will also be able to alter just the clothes of your MC. If you want your MC's outfit to be simple for exploring outside, and nice when they go to school, you'll be able to do that. It's so cute! God damn! New decoration options such as facial piercings will become available once your character has gotten older. That's everything for this initial screen, so we'll let you begin. More tutorial sections will pop up as you reach new gameplay features. Thank you so much for playing, we hope you have fun. Filters. Ooh, nice. Oh, I like... Damn. Hello from the tutorial again. Now you'll get to customize the identity of your MC. Make the MC's appearance. You can make this aspect of the character as personalized as you want, or not make use of the more specific elements. Determining the gender of the MC was assigned at birth, what pronouns, if use multiple pronouns, adding in your own custom pronoun. Ooh, that's cool. Selecting which gendered terms they're comfortable with and such can be up to you. You can also change everything except your assigned gender at birth at the start of every new step. If you want to begin with one type of identity and then have your MC go through a transition once they're older, that's completely doable. Feel free to select whatever feels the most comfortable at the stage of the story. So we are still a kid, so I'll use she, her. My gender is female at this point. Although at this point in time I already felt like I didn't fit the female, like the female viewpoint of society. Like I was always the different girl, the other girl, the one that wasn't like other girls. Not necessarily derogatory. It became derogatory when I was a teenager, because, yeah, that happened. But already at 10, I felt like I was different. Like I said, not in a pick-me girl kind of way. But something didn't quite fit. But I'm still going to go with female for now. And female at birth. Honorific. Let's do Miss. Even though I would technically be a Mrs. Female leaning for now. Yeah. The appearance of your biological mother. She has 3 hair textures and 6 skin tones. Oh shit, I forgot to adjust the skin tone. Heck. You can have her look as similar or as different from you. Yeah, I see. Jesus, I'm sorry. She chose to raise a child on her own and used artificial insemination to give birth to your character. The biological father never appears in the story. So if your character happens to look nothing like their mom, it can be assumed that they take after their off-screen father instead. You also get to choose what term your character refers to her by. Currently, it must be a title in order to make sense in the script. If you enter in her first name, the phrasing won't make sense. Later builds of the game may be suited for calling her by name instead of a title. Also be able to change the title you use for hair at the start of every new step. Her skin tone and hair texture will remain consistent for the rest of the game. My mum has like wavy hair, and if she wasn't sunbathing as much, she'll probably be as pale as I am. Wait, I can go back. I am a ghost. I completely forgot about this. Yeah, me is a ghost. But she gets pretty dark. Like, this could pretty much be her in the summer. But, yeah, I'll just make her a little bit darker for now. Mom. Seems good. Can I change the hair color? No. And we've got, alas, a little bit of customizations before the story begins. Interface display style. First, there's your sticker. A sticker is just a charming little image that appears in certain screen graphics, such as the choice menus and, most importantly, save files. You can easily track different playthroughs by using different stickers. And your sticker can change whenever you want by clicking the info button on the sidebar and going to the Your Details page. I already see mushroom. Oh, those are cute. An example to use it would be if you have a playthrough you're enjoying, but in step 2 you're not sure if you want to rent a clip, pursue tamarack or chew. You can take that same file, change the sticker and make another save. One version of the story and sticker could have you dating tamarack, and the other sticker is a separate story with chew. Hold on. I'm going to Google Translate this bitch. Okay, so I am going to just say chew. Finally, there are 2 different textbook styles to choose from. Traditional visual novel arrangement with the box always along the bottom of the screen, or more comic book style, where the speech bubbles are positioned next to the one talking at the bottom of the screen when there is narration. You can switch between them at any time on the preference screen. If the button simple text box is highlighted, you'll have the visual novel style. You click to unhighlight that button for the comic style. Okay. By the default, both textbook styles will have the icons to show who's speaking. This can be turned on or off through your preference settings as well. Okay. Mushy. Oh, which mushroom do I choose? But acorn. Oh, those are so perfect. Pumpkin. I'm gonna have to do the pumpkin. I want the icon. I like the speech bubbles, actually. It looked like fall in Golden Grove. Oh, this is perfect. Oh, I'm getting all chills already. More than any place you'd seen before. Could be in one of your old picture books to show little kids what autumn was supposed to be. Weren't any green trees or bushes, but there weren't just bare branches yet. It was almost the same as normal. All that had changed were the colors: red, orange, yellow, brown. Even the blue of the sky above your head seemed different than it did in summer. It wasn't as bright either, as though it had gotten tired of sparkling by the slate of the year. Like it was even farther away from you now that you were in this place. Now that you were in this place. Oh, God, I love fall! The plants and sky didn't get this way where you lived, where you used to live. Your thoughts continued to jump around while you stood there in the big circle of street at the end of the road. It was a weird path to you. It couldn't take you ahead or to the sides or anywhere else, like most streets you'd gone down. This one only came right here with those big houses. A view in front of you was something you'd only ever seen in photos before from stapled together papers that advertised the middle house being for sale. It had been a picture book to you until this day. Now you knew it felt like fall here too, because it was cold outside. While I'm playing this, it's 9 p.m, so almost the middle of the night, but now I really want to go outside and just feel the cold on my skin. Oh, it's so cozy. I love autumn. You don't understand. You actually don't understand. I absolutely love it. Like I said, I almost cried earlier today while it was raining, and you could feel the temperature drop. Surely enough that you sometimes held your eyes closed for a few seconds longer than usual to try keeping your eyeballs from feeling like they were gonna freeze inside your head. I would see a doctor about that. This was a real place, the icy air surrounding you said, and you were really in it. And it was where you were going to stay. That was new. Your mom and you had lived in apartments before, and never for very long each time. Never for very long each time. It was until she'd gotten a big job in this not that big town and bought a big house. You wouldn't be going anywhere else for a long time. Now, in that moment, you couldn't imagine being there forever. But that's just the way it was. The old tan house at the very end of the long, round road was now your house, standing tall with 2 others by its sides. I always wanted a house with, I don't know what this is called actually. I like to call it a Princess Tower. But I always wanted something like this. Like the 3 windows around the corners. Just put a reading nook over here, and this would be perfect. In real life, for me. I would instantly buy this house if I had the money. Those buildings were homes too, with their own people living inside. And those people in those ancient houses were going to be your neighbors. Ancient? Those don't look older than 50 years. Or maybe that's just my European standard of ancient. It seemed okay to you. Felt kind of super excited. You were mad. Wasn't much you felt about that. Made you so sad. You felt scared. This would really be something, you thought. Yeah, but in what way? I understand that as a kid, moving can be very hard because you haven't had the chance to get to know your old surroundings that well, because if you think about it, at 10 years old you haven't had that long to really get used to everything, because everything is new to you. So when a big change like such a drastic move comes along your way, it can be very confusing at first. The familiarity you've built with your old place, the little you already have, is being ripped away from you, and if you don't have a good support system, it might be very difficult. Like, I haven't moved that much in my life, and also not that far, or every time. Like, the farthest I've moved away were like 10 kilometers, and I still visit my old town or village fairly often, so it's not that far away. But as a kid, it's something different. So I would say you felt kind of mixed up inside. Would it be better this way? Worse? Something else? You didn't know what to think. You know, in real life, this would be probably the mentality I was going for, but I'm going to try to have a good relationship with my mom in this one. If I can't have it in real life, I'll try to have it at least in fiction. We'd go through the bad stuff together. Minnie, come on over and have a look. Oh, that was your mom's voice. You hadn't noticed she got so far. That was enough to bring you comfort, and you made yourself move forward towards the unknown in order to reunite with her. Off the cul-de-sac road and cutting across lines of grass and sidewalk, you reached the picket fence your mom had called from. The gate was unlocked. Unlike the other houses, in front of yours was a tiny grey-stoned walkway that led up to a couple little steps, and those steps led to the door. You dragged your feet along the rocks and dirt. The small private path was more uneven than you thought, and the tip of your shoe got caught on a raised edge between ground and stone. It caused you to stumble up the line right before arriving at the end of the rocks. You steadied yourself before carefully going up the tiny stairs. And there your mum was, standing at the edge of the porch, arms folded and waiting. She must have been moving around before, because the shiny opal earrings she had on were twisting from side to side a little bit. You knew they were real opal stones because she told you before, when she first got them. She also told you a long time ago, that her normal name, not Mum, was Opal. Real opal earrings, huh? Damn. Her clothes were the colors of a cloudy day after rain had already come and gone. Kind of day that could be cold and bad or really relaxing and comfy. It depended. You wondered which way she looked at it from. You didn't know. The rest of her, though, was so much more bold, especially the matching purpley cranberryness of both her hair and eyes. There weren't a lot of things out in the world with that color that could feel gloomy. Mum smiled at you. It made you feel as soft and warm on the inside as your mum was on the outside. They're so cute. They're so adorable. What do you think? It's a pretty place, huh? I'm gonna have my own things. It's okay, nodded eagerly. I have to remember, we are 10. We are 10, we just moved. Everything is new, nothing feels familiar anymore. And we have still child priorities, so I'm gonna have my own room, right? You will, my dear. Her mouth stayed in the shape of a smile, but her eyes and eyebrows changed, bending in a way that made it seem like she wasn't really smiling, or it was some other kind of smile. She put her hand on one of the white painted pole things and kept the porch roof from falling down. Her fingers moved along it. Won't be too much longer. The real estate agent should be here to hand over the keys in a couple hours or so. and it'll be official. I'll be the newest resident of Golden Grove. I shifted the weight from one foot to the other. This was a big deal to your mom. Her whole life was changing too. You hoped it wouldn't be a mistake. You didn't want your mom to be sad. Well, you've seen the yard and the outside. You don't have to wait here the entire time. How about you go look around the rest of the neighborhood? She bent down, placing her hands on her knees in order to speak directly to you on the same level. It's a safe town, especially in this area. You'll be able to play freely out here. Perked up, jumped, went white in fear? Why? Grasped her pants, wanting to stay. You huffed unhappily, frowned, nearly shrugged, covered your face with your hands, and wanting to go. You turned your face away from her in defiance. Why are we afraid? I'm gonna just perk up. Mom went back to her normal way of standing with her head up high and arms folded. That's the spirit. Enjoy yourself. Just don't stray into any other streets today. Didn't care about rules. I won't. Thank you. I trust you. With that, you flipped around, bounced down the streets, and went back towards the sidewalk, ready to explore. Your shoes really squished into the dirt part when you crossed from where you were down to the solid road. The smell of the grass and rain softened ground, crisp, though somehow also kind of musty, hung in the air, bringing a whole new year of school with it. You were going to be a 5th grader. It would be completely different from being a 4th grader, and not just because you'd be attending a new school. 5th grader? Wait, you started when you were 5? Like, here in Germany, you usually start kindergarten at 3. Some even start even earlier, because it's more common now for the mum or the parents not to stay at home that long and start working earlier. So the kid of a friend of mine started kindergarten when he was 2. But still, you usually don't start school before you're 6 or 7, depending on how far you're developed. Already starting school at 5 seems a bit early to me, but that's just me. It'd be in the highest grade of the place. Maybe that was why your mum was so sure you could do this by yourself. You're grown up. Not everything about it was a bad thing, you guessed. Then, before you took one more step, there was a faint tap against your shoulder. It was barely stronger than wind, but it was definitely something, and it was completely out of nowhere. You wondered what it was. Jumped straight in the air. Both your fists went up, you screamed, rubbed your shoulders, feeling annoyed. It was a ghost. You know? The stone was haunted, and so were those old houses. It made sense. Rapidly, you ping-ponged your gaze from left to right, trying to get a glimpse of the poking perpetrator. Oh, the poking perpetrator. That's a good alliteration. No one was there. The neighborhood was empty except for you. It was a ghost. Oh no. As you judged, it was an invisible ghost. You would have settled on that if you had noticed there was a thing you could actually see left behind from the counter. Sitting there in between the muddy brown blades of grass was something new. Ooh! Paper airplane. Who would throw this at a stranger, and why would they disappear after doing it? As you considered those questions, your gaze shifted back towards the right, where the side of the street towards the right, the side of the street where the tap came from. Whoever sent this to you had to have gone that way. You crouched down to grab it, while keeping a lookout to make sure nothing else snuck up on you. The paper didn't feel the same crinkly, crackly way most noble paper did. It was thicker, somehow. Almost like a piece of cloth. It was cottony. Ooh, expensive paper? It wasn't the only part that stood out. The page was a tan color with dark brown lines. Not white and blue or white and black or something regular. Real expensive paper. Maybe even old paper. More questions to add to the confusion. Where would paper like that have come from? You turned the paper airplane around in your hands and squinted your eyes keenly. There were pencil markings on the underside. The paper had scribbles, or maybe even letters. There was enough of a sign to undo the shape someone had put together. You pulled at the flaps on the plane and flattened it out between your palms as best you could. It was true. The paper airplane had a message. Well, maybe. There were some words on it, but not a lot, and they were on different lines from each other. You read over each tiny part from top to bottom. Hello, go out, hide out. Then there was in the bottom corner was Mini Rowan? Huh? Your name. It had been addressed to you personally. There was no mistake that you were the one meant to get the plane. You scrunched up your face. A person wrote stuff on a piece of paper, turned it into a paper airplane, threw it at another person, and the message they sent was that. Hello, go out, hide out. The fuck? This was too weird. This was so cool. It was a mystery worth solving. This was something. This scared you. This was stupid. Mystery. Let's go. Maybe the words were a code you had to break. You had to tell your mom you're going to get to the bottom of this. You're done exploring. Wanted to get back to looking around. Someone or something had to have sent this to you. You weren't going to stop until you found out who and why. Past these parts where the light shone through the clouds and the parts where it got darker, you began your investigation by heading in the same direction the paper had hit you from. A half circle of houses was out of sight by the time the normal sidewalk ended. And it really ended. Instead of connecting to another street with homes or stores, there was a car road behind you and a bunch of trees and plain ground in front. Going down the road would have to bring you to the rest of the town eventually. But you were sure that would be straying too far like your mom warned against. That was okay, you had other options. Oh my god, this is perfect. Oh, I want to go into the forest. I want to go collect mushies. Oh, I want to stomp through crispy leaves. I love autumn. Bending in between the dark trunks and bright leaves, where true lines stemmed out through the grass. They went in opposite directions. It was the crossroads. You led more towards where the neighborhood was, but back further, right on the edge of where the forest started. The other went completely into the trees, a walking path for the people who lived here. You stood there at the start of this turning point in the woods, in your life, feet poised to move over the stirring thicket floor. You didn't know where you were going. Yeah, this one. How could you know which one was better? You'd never tried either, and there were no clues on where to start now. This was a puzzle that made you pause. You thought about it as hard as you could, even shutting your eyes to focus. Then finally... They said hideout. Go out, hideout. On one hand, I would assume it would be inside the forest, because it's a hideout. On the other hand, it's a hideout for kids, which I probably would think is more near the houses that they are. I'm just gonna go into the forest and hope I don't get lost. And your quest continued. Once you went through the foresty path, you had truly entered the wildwoods. Nothing else surrounded you any longer. Oh, look at this. Oh, this is perfect. Nature spread across the land, with the narrow dirt line and fence being the only sign anyone had walked in the spot before you. People were only visitors here. Golden and red leaves gently rustled against each other in thick clumps, with each tree's branches flowing into the others nearby. It was enough to keep the sky and sun out almost completely, but the leaves burned bright with the light basking over them from above. The foot-made passage continued to twist around, up higher into the mountainside, farther than you could see. You were amazed. It was sort of nice, you felt uneasy, you preferred the neighborhood over the woods. It was dirty and icky. This was your kind of place. Your curiosity was piqued. It was so boring. That was a pretty place. Awesome! You regretted coming out here. The forest was frightening. My kind of place. When I was a kid, there was a playground along my street. And next to this playground were not really woods. It was more like an assortment of trees, but not big enough to call it woods. And there was a stream going through it, and I always liked being in there more than on the playground. I don't know why I was and am this way. I just am, and my time being ashamed of it is long over. So, yeah. With your wide, wondrous gaze thrown every which way, you let yourself float deeper into the thicket. Royally, the quiet bubble that existed here in the forest, away from the town, popped from a sudden unnatural clatter. You stopped. It was a whooshing, thumping and stirring up of the leaves, like something had crashed into them. You knew for sure that wasn't the wind. It had to have been an animal or person. And it came from right over there. You decided to just take a peek. Wandered through the bushes to find the source of the sound. You picked up a stick. You know? This is actually pretty smart. To keep your distance, but still be curious enough to just yeet a stick. While keeping your gaze strained forward, you bent down and felt around for a good-sized branch or something else that you'd be able to throw far but still have enough weight to get through the trees. Once you wrapped your fingers around a chunk of bark that would work, you stretched out your arm behind your head, and you then threw the stick in front of you. Flung toward and noisily disappeared into the brush. You couldn't see where it landed, the leaves swallowing it up whole. Well, that's all that happened. Nothing jumped out at you. It just got quiet again. Decided to just take a peek. Crouched lower and snuck off the path. It was hard to keep your footing on the slanted, untrimmed ground. When you reached a really tree-cluttered spot, you grasped at the branches and pushed them aside in order to poke your head through. You moved them the same way you'd open up a set of curtains, but it was a lot harder to do. The tiniest branches couldn't take the bend and snap from the pressure. You could feel the splintery ends of the plants scratched a little at your face and clothes. It wasn't as secretive of a check as you'd hoped it would be. Wow. It's moving! Oh my god. On the other side of the tree line was still the woods, but kind of an empty part. There was a lot of open ground with no trees or bushes growing and a ton of leaves that were gathered into piles. Past that clearing, the trees were back and even more closely pressed together than they were by the path. It was mysterious. There was nowhere easy to go and nothing seemed out of place to you until... Hi! You were so cute. Hello! There was a shout and a new whirlwind of leaves rushing through the air. From underneath one of the piles was a kid. You knew that was going to happen. Who was this person? Couldn't look away from their eyes. They were really red. Oh yeah. They had sparkly hair. Like the scarf they had on. There were leaves stuck in their hair and clothes. That was the prettiest person you've ever seen. Yeah, probably this one. You couldn't hold the leaning forward position any longer and stumbled forward completely into the open area. You stared at them, and they looked right back at you, as everything they'd thrown into the air gently drifted back down. You mean this whole time scared me? Dude, I thought you were crazy. What did you know I would say? You were waiting for me? Awesome! You had no idea what to do. You began to laugh. I thought I was gonna catch someone, but you got me. Yeah. It got the stranger giggling. Yeah, I got you. Wait here. The jumping jack kid hopped out again. But this time it was to get up off the ground. They dashed to the opposite edge of the open space, leaves scattering behind them, dropping out of the clothes and being kicked up by the steps. You were already wondering what was gonna happen next. From behind one of the tall, crooked trees from the kid began throwing sticks and other plant pieces around. They were uncovering a hidden treasure, a brown bag. They had to use both hands to lift the pouch and get it over their head. The thick strap pulled tight under the strain of the weight attached to it. The line of their mouth looked just as strange. The stranger huffed when they released the bag from the fingers, letting it rest completely across their shoulder. You heard stuff bumping around inside of your position way over here. It was a really full pack. But they didn't slow that kid down. They ran back at full speed to meet you where you were. When they were in front of your face, they gave you a wave and asked a question. Ooh, wow, does your hair have two colors? You suddenly had a stranger tilting their head all the way to the side to try getting a better look at your hair. It's not special of anything. Thanks for noticing. Think it's sweet? It's pretty cool, right? I have to yell about it. Just looked away, pretending you didn't hear. She's very hot. She's tall and lifted her chin. It's pretty cool, right? Whoever they were hummed a happy reply. Yeah, it's fancy. Do we have to? Uh-oh. The kid then kept talking like that. Whole thing didn't even happen. Hi, are you a girl too? Yeah. She sung her own praises in a chiming tone. Both girls, both girls. All of a sudden, the leafy girl seemed to remember to introduce herself the way most people do. I'm Tamarack. Oh right, that sounds nice. Really? Tamarack is a weird name. Cool. Tamarack. What does it mean? It's a tree. Isn't it a normal word and not a name? It's a tree. Yeah, you're right. A tamarack is a kind of tree. I like it a lot. So what's your name? I'm Minnie. I'm Minnie. She greeted you with a finger spread wave of her hand. As sweetly as if you'd always known each other and she'd done it 100 times. Do you like it, your name? Yeah. People should call me Minnie. Well, one of my friends always call me Minnie. Why are you here? Where did you come from? Are you visiting? She piled on one question after the other, letting them bubble out like her laughter. I'm not some kind of tourist. My mum and me moved into this town. Tamara gasped, her large eyes opening even wider. They were full of sparkles. Me too. I'm new too. I moved to live with my Omi and Opa. Those are German words. Like grandma and grandpa. They have a house here and I'm gonna be there now. Yeah, I've heard it before. Yep. My parents. Sure, why not? No. We're not gonna do that. I have no idea what it'd be like not to live alone. Just say, oh, right. Yeah. I've been here 5 days and it's really good. There's so much out here. Probably we won't be finished for a long time. Months, maybe. This is my very first day in Golden Grove. Oh, it's barely different at all. Very much. She furrowed her extra short eyebrows as much as she could as a new idea came to her. Hey, we're both girls and new. What if you were at the same age too? I'm 10. I don't even care. No, kept quiet. I'm 10 too. Hooray! Same age forever. Happily, Tamara held onto the worn strap of a big bag, bounced up and down in place. He decided this was the perfect time to talk to her about what you were doing. Paper airplane. Do you know what this is? It's kind of interesting to see having options and being non-verbal. Yeah, you got it. I got it. It's right here. Oh! She flung her arms up over her head in celebration, knocking the bag out to the side. It made a thump noise when it swung back against her. My aim is good. Blinked at her in disbelief. You done it. You found the mystery person who made the stranger paper airplane message. But where did you get my name? She was lied at me. I couldn't believe. It's Malty sale of Shiley. She was so cute. She's cute. How did you know my name? Yeah. And what kind of paper is that? But how did you know my name? You told me. No, before that. I didn't know it before that. What was that supposed to mean? Father, you knew what was disbelief a second ago, but hearing that makes you feel like ways you never had before. Stunned look on your face got Tamarack to add more. The paper I used wasn't mine. It was letter in the woods. I picked it up and put it in my bag because I couldn't leave it there on the ground. Then when I saw you standing in the road, I just had the idea. I could do something wrong with that garbage by making the paper airplane for you. So you didn't write anything on it? Yeah, I didn't. I'm sorry! Well, that part makes sense, but this is still confusing. Why did you use paper that had stuff written on it? Are you kidding me? And who did write the note? I don't know. That was all she said. Tamara couldn't tell you anything more. The person who wrote that strange message for you was still a mystery. You hadn't found them even after meeting the paper airplane person. You were filled with mystery, felt creeped out. You were filled with determination! You were so disappointed, you were completely frustrated. I am determined. There was no way. The crinkles of the paper airplane filled you with determination. There was no way you could let this go until you've gotten answers. You started thinking more about this, making plans in your head. Tamara could tell something was going on with you. What did the paper say? Was it funny? Do you think random stuff is funny? It was short and all the parts were on different lines. The words were hello, go out, hide out, many roam. What? So weird. Who would write that? I know, that's what I was thinking. It's strange. She took a big hop closer to you, a smile growing across her face as she landed. You should keep going, and I'll come too. That paper isn't very old. It would have gotten wet or eaten by bugs if it was out there in the forest for a while. You could track them down and ask them what they were doing. Okay, you can come. I was gonna ask that if you really want to. You could use more eyes for looking. We've been scared to go alone. Something I need to do, knowing by myself. Stay here. Yeah. Woohoo! Tamarack snatched up the nearby stick off the ground and directed the pointy end forward, the way you had come from. We're gonna find the literature who puts weird things on paper. And so you started to walk along the brown fall bush again, now with your new partner in the adventure. Tamara came along from behind you with eager skipping steps. This was right. We were going to find that note right person who knew your name. She's really cute. The leaves stuck still in her hair. And damn, you're adorable. Soon you reached the head of the path. You were at the crossroad once more, but you brought back knowledge and this new girl with you. Alright, we did that one. It's where you were and down... What? We did that one. it's where you were, and down there's just a car road. Oh, we did that one? Okay. You stood at Tamarac's side, gesturing around animatedly with both hands. You didn't know if that helped her understand better, but she couldn't keep still. But there's that way over to the other side. Bent your knees, stretched out both arms, and pointed across the forked passage to where the second dirt imprint was. Tamara couldn't possibly miss it with your direction. With her lips sharpened into a tired line, she nodded rapidly and with seriousness. Only for a second, then she was perky again. She was having fun and only pretending like she wasn't always so silly. Yeah, okay. Down to the tree path for you and me. The decision easily made, you and her crunching footsteps started up again in unison. And still, your quest continued. The path ended up being kind of a trick. Ran out of dirt to walk on after only a minute or two, then it became plain grass everywhere. It's pretty. Luckily, you only had to keep following a curved bend of bush and tree trunks that separated the forest from not the forest to know where you were going. I had planned to go. Tamara hummed a happy tune, not bothered by the change on the ground at all. She made eye contact and she started to speak words instead of music. It's good that we're looking this way. Walking down the road that goes into the town would have been a bad idea. Do you, Omi and Opa, have to rule against that too? I don't know. Oh, and how come? Her eyes went wide. Whatever news she had to give must be something awful. Manny, you have no idea because you just got here. And I've seen it. The town here is bad. The buildings were probably new when my Omi and Opa were 10. It's old and dusty. Nobody's going anywhere or doing anything. You just live in the space, sit around and do that forever. You could never have fun here. There. She spoke gravely, giving the topic a moment of silence. After that, her spark came back, lighting up her features. Well, it's okay since it's right next to here. Tamara hopped along, directing her stick to the tree line at your sides. Everything in the forest is growing or dying or changing, no matter what. You look at one spot, you look at a different spot, you look back at that spot and you'll see something new you didn't even notice before. She spread her arms across in front of your face playfully. It's magic. Oh, you're right. Then, as you strolled even farther, something came into view. You almost didn't notice it at first. The hideout. Stretching about as high as the trees and made of practically the same colored wood, was a tower sort of thing. The bottom of it was mostly empty space, with thin stick poles in the corners, and only one full wall. There were little fake rocks stuck to the boards on the wall side, probably for people to climb on. Above was an actual floor with a slanty roof and railings around. Some ropes dangled off it in multiple places. The thought came to you that you'd had the same feeling as a tree house, except not in a tree. It definitely wasn't a real house. You might have found a local playground. A squealing whisper came right into your ear. Tamarak had noticed the wood thing too. Let's go see it. She pulled away from the side of your head to march to the tower without waiting for you to even answer. Curiously, you moved closer until you were right in front. And that's when you came to the shocking realization that there was something in there at the top. I squinted to try seeing more clearly. The neck bent so far your head might fall off. You could make out a lumpy pile. Stood there looking, shouted out. Get the best. Base of the tower, swift kick. Good shake of he grabbed onto the part sticking out to try climbing up there. Shouted. Hey, something there? Yeah, somebody home? Sudden sound of clattering ruckus from inside the fort made you flinch in place. It was a trembling, thudding noise that he knew came from movement. The lump stopped being just a lump. It shut up, bent right over the railing, peered down and saw you. Looking lump. Hi! It was another kid. Pointy hairline. I was prettiest person you've ever seen. Who were they? Silence standoff between of surprise played out between you and the stranger. Then altogether, one half of the mouth, one of the eyebrows, and one of the hands shifted upwards. A lopsided pose they had, and the fact that they were at the top of the tower made them seem pretty in charge here. Who are you? Why are you in my backyard? Oh, they were in charge here. Didn't know this was your backyard. Somehow they twisted the smile and leaned over the railing even more than before. Yeah, there's no fence, but there's a house right over there. And if you look again, you can even see that's the back of the house. And so this is the backyard. My backyard. Because I live in that house. Oh. You know what a house was, what a backyard was. The kid was making a joke of you. Oh wait, right, I accidentally right-clicked. That's why the saves came up. How could I have known that far away? Went with all this open grass. Being mean to me. That house? Isn't close to here at all, it's way over there. How could I have known that far away house when with all this open grass? We just stopped talking about it. You giving up didn't change the smug smile at all. After doing their own snooping, Tamarack skipped out from under the tower to join you in the stranger's eyeline. She didn't miss a beat, waving and introducing herself to the new person. Hey, yeah, I'm Tamarack. Hey. At that, they pressed the palms of their hands hard against the railing and used it to kick their legs up over the sides and throw themselves right off the fort. Whoa! There was a powerful crunch and gust of air when the person hit the ground just a little to the side of where you were. They landed on their feet, crouching into a ball, and making the hood of the jacket flip over the head from the impact of falling so far down. The person stayed like that for long enough that the leaves they stared up settled quietly into the grass again. Then the kin straightened themselves out with more poise than you could have expected. Squared shoulders, chin up, and with one hand they pushed the hood down over their back again. They were confident and knew how to show it. That's that. Could I try? Can I try? Maybe sometime. Dick took hold of the open sides of their jacket and flapped them out, shaking off bits of sticks and whatever stuff that got on it when they collided with the dirt. Anyway, they shifted their head around to get their hair back over the shoulders, the way it was before, and then jabbed a finger into their own chest. I'm Mr. Qiulin. Qiu and Lin. It means both of Chu's arms spread out openly, gesturing to the wide world all around. Autumn. Nice to meet you. What are your whole names? For Jackal Samarak put on a fake voice that was deeper than her normal one and probably meant to sound mature. I am Miss Tamarak Baumann. A tamarack is a tree. That introduction got a thumbs up from Chu. Cool, Miss Tamarak Baumann. Miss Minnie Rowan. It was perfect, Miss Minnie Rowan. Oh, but all my friends always call me Minnie. Cool. I've got a nickname too. It's Autumn. 'Cause, like I said, that's what my name means. You can use it if you wanna. Alright. Wait. And also, how old are you two? We seem pretty similar to me. Me and Minnie are the same. 10. Shu slapped his finger on his gloved hands against the front of his chest to show just how taken back he was. Wow, so am I. Nobody else close by was exactly 10 before. Now there's 2 more. Wow, we came at just the right time. You did. And you two are gonna grow up someday, and I'm gonna grow up too, so that's never gonna stop us from being the same age. Cool. Even if I still looked older than you two. So, still like the older. Big thumbs up. More 10-year-olds were better than less. But the talk you were having ended with a clear clap from Chu to bring it to a close. Now that we are people who know each other, I still want to hear what you were doing. I've lived my whole life in this town, in this neighborhood, in that house, and I've never seen either of you anywhere. There's gotta be something going on. Tamarak's wide, knowing gaze met yours. You understood what you had to do. Well, you reached right into your pocket and presented the mystery paper to Chu. Good lord, wanting your own explanation. But before you even said anything about it, Chu wheezed with a tight grimace. He looked as stiff as the wood tower behind him, just like that. He stammered and babbled, and pointed his finger all around the space that was sort of in front of you, until the word finally came to him. A sorcerer! What? No! Wait! Chu threw his hands up higher towards his shoulders, a sudden movement making sure nothing interrupted his train of thought. You're a thief! That's why you're here! To rob my house. Magic. That makes no sense. Are you so excited about that? I'll let you know I was here if I was gonna see things. Sorry, I'm not gonna be distracted. Once I see something, I do not see it. I'm like a hawk. Do you really think I'm a robber? He got all fluttery with his laugh and the waving of his fingers. No, you're just a kid. You've got some good tricks. Shu tucked one of his hands inside his jacket. He moved it around here, there, humming the whole time. There was some kind of secret pocket or compartment in that coat. Uh-huh. Just as you thought, when he removed his hand, he was grabbing onto something. It was a little notebook. The edges were bent up and crumbly, probably from being squished a lot of ways and a lot of times. There were papers sticking out in weird ways that made you think they weren't even attached to the book anymore. They were just smashed between other pages to keep them in place. But the thing you noticed the most are the colors, toned with dark brown lines. Tamarak squealed, running closer to you. She and you had the same idea at the very same time. It was the paper from the airplane. She flipped open the book. tapped in a slow considering rhythm at the front page with the back of his knuckles, and said what you wanted to know without you having to do anything. That's my special paper, with my notes on it. But it's not in my notebook. It was in your pocket. You must have done the thing that's... Sleight of hand. Sleight of hand? That's what you did to stretch my stuff in the blink of an eye while I was standing here. So you're a magician, or pickpocket. That's all it could be. He shifted on his feet, putting one hand to his hip and using the other to make a waggling gesture with the notebook. She was really confident in his accusation against you. Can you show me how you do it? But the wavy motion she did was too much for the old notebook. It bent in half upwards and downwards with the momentum of its owner's arm. Some of the papers slid out. They drifted to the ground lightly, the same way leaves fell from the trees. He stared right at them, sitting there frankly like that. She didn't. You're right, I don't know how the paper ended. I'm being sarcastic. Maybe you just lost the paper and that's how Tamarack found it. It was definitely because of magic. I know, because I never lose things. He said it proudly, still not paying attention to the papers cluttered around his feet. They were pretty much just waiting to blow away in the wind at that point. Never lose things. Can't decide you. Now what happened? Never noticed what happened. Just point at the papers. Chu's eyes widened. He lifted the notebook over his head and twisted his feet outwards more to fully clear his view in the grass below. Finally, he spotted the missing pages. Oh, thanks. In the middle of talking, he dropped to his knees to scoop up the loose papers. It only took a second for each one to be gathered. I leaned off his knees onto his butt and made a little oof sound. From there he got his feet against the ground while pushing up with his hands still clutching the paper so he could stand again. With that successful rescue mission done, Chu delicately flipped through the notebook, inserting the loose papers along the way between different pages. He went all the way to the end, and Chu's complete book was pressed shut once more. Hey, that really helped me. Beaming smile directed right into your face almost had you covering your eyes, but before that happened he looked away. Chu twisted to the side to better rummage inside the hidden pocket of his jacket. He made super sure that the entire stack of papers made it back safely this time. He heard a sigh of relief. In an even swooping move, Chu tilted his head back over his shoulder to reveal his face again. The bright expression from before was completely gone. He had the smirk again. So, did you see that? I don't lose anything. It's only because of me. Next time I'm not gonna tell you about it. You're a real idiot. You're an idiot. Time I'm not gonna tell you about it. Smiling, Chu leaned a lot more forward, all the way onto his tippy toes. He stayed up and put his hands against his chest like it was nothing. I don't know how he stood on this them so well. I don't know about that. You seem really nice, but help me out again. Thanks. Chu's fun with your reaction came out as a set of snickers. His cheeky mood drifted away once those were done. Chu twisted to the side to better rummage inside the hidden pocket of his jacket. He made sure that the notebook made it back to its normal spot. When he tilted his face backward towards you, he was quiet and thoughtful. This is very mysterious. my paper vanished. And 2 new kids appeared in my backyard, all out of nowhere. I didn't get it. Gee, I'm your neighbor now. I moved into the middle house on the street. Oh, the new neighbors. That's right, it's you. It makes so much sense. Except for her. His growing excitement scrunched into confusion. She brought a hand to his chin while also pointing squarely at Tamarack with the other one. I'm pretty positive there was only gonna be 1 new kid moving in. Unless you're Minnie's mom. Sorry, no. Tamarack was completely tickled by the idea, giggling, covering her mouth with her hands. She didn't do a good job at stopping any of the laughter from getting out. No, I'm not a mom. I moved in with my Omi and Opa. Omi and Opa? I never heard of that. Is that another language? It's German, and they're German. Cool. Thanks. But they already had a house here. It's a grey one. Whoa. There's a granny who lives there and the guy that's her husband. That's your Omi and Opa? I think so, probably. Omi has really long hair. And Opa has short hair and some of it's on his face. Omi and Opa means Granny and Grandpa. Yeah. Chu bobbed his head up and down with great understanding. Granny and him have a kid now? Huh. Wow. Then Chu shook his head down, his head side to side, flopping dark brown strands of hair around and trying to sort out his thoughts. But if you're just new neighbors, not thieves and sorcerers, how'd you know that was my paper? I didn't know. Not for sure. What, you were showing my notes off to everyone you saw in the world? Yeah, that was kind of the idea. Huh? Knew it would be a long story, so he took it in a huge breath. Tamara put her fists up eagerly in her preparation to talk about what she had done. I got here today with my mom. She's waiting for the real estate agent, so I had to go spend time doing something. I went down to the road and a paper airplane hit me in the shoulder, and nobody was there. It was me. I threw it and ran away. It was great. I picked it up and opened the plane and saw the stuff written on it. I thought the person throwing the plane was trying to give me a message. Well, it wasn't me who wrote it. Right. Minnie went into the forest after, and I jumped out of the leaves as a surprise. She nodded along, probably not getting everything you two are talking about, but curious enough to just keep listening. And I talked to her about the paper airplane I found, and she told me what we said, and that she made the plane but didn't write what was on it. I asked where she got it. Tamarack chimed in again as the story continued to bounce back and forth between the two of you. Found it on the ground in the woods. It already had the note, but I didn't think that was important at first. Minnie made me wonder about it. I went out to discover the word writer, and it was you. Huh. Chu put his hands on his hips as he thought hard about the info he'd learned from you. Saying all of this was random stuff for fun? I guess so, but if you are the one who wrote it, how did you know my name? It was on the note. And what were those other words supposed to mean? Hello, go out, hideout, Minnie Rowan? It doesn't make sense. Oh. Chu cracked a smile and flicked out his arms to start his own explanation. It's just stuff I was gonna do. Counting 1, 2, 3 on his fingers, Chu listed off each part of the letter simply. Hello, say hi to the people around. Go out, visit the town or another neighborhood or whatever. Hideout means go to my hideout. She stopped the countdown to pat the sturdy wooden wall behind him with pride. Right here. But still, why is my name on the piece of paper? I won't say anything. Right, yeah. For your name being there, my mom and dad told me. They talked about how people were moving in next door, and how there was gonna be a kid my age, and her name was Minnie Rowan. It was cool to me, so I wrote it down, a way I wouldn't forget. And I even took out and read that page a lot to make sure it'd be something I remembered, because I forgot it after all. That's simple, huh? I really thought it was being more mysterious. Forgot because you lost the paper. Can't believe you forgot who I was. I don't know why you're confident when everything on. Thanks for trying to remember anyway. You're welcome. I'll remember this time, definitely. But that's pretty crazy with the paper airplane. It's really impressive you two put the whole thing together. He was right, you and Tamarack had now been able to discover the whole story. Went better than you thought. You're proud of yourself. But you realize suddenly how late it must have gotten. Your mom would start to worry soon. It wasn't good. Your turning thoughts were put on pause when Chu suddenly changed the subject. Hey Minnie, Tamarack, I'll walk you around back to the front. I want to hang out more. You should probably see how Omi and Opa are. They're pretty old and need help sometimes. Yeah, we could all go back together. Yeah, let's go. Relax your stance, accepting that this was really over now. Yay! But she had extra pizzazz, cause she still had the tie stick to point her up. To our house is. While chuckling, Chu used his fist to enthusiastically punch the air and match Tamarack's pose. Homeward bound. This is really nice. Yeah. She had cupped her hands around her mouth to make it extra loud. It's pretty cool. So you started to walk through the yellowed fall grass to get to the neighborhood again. But you weren't going to be alone there. Tamarack bounded ahead, bouncing her arm up and down with the stick like she was the conductor of a marching band, while Chu came alongside you with even, casual steps. You were returning to that house. Your new neighborhood had become even more orangey toned by the time you finally returned to it. This is so pretty. Look at that. Oh my god. The far-off sun slowly sank away behind the tallest mountains and forests to sleep for the night. Your shadows grew larger, pulling away from your bodies to reach out into the streets ahead. Dark shapes morphed and combined with one another as you walked in your own mismatched rhythm. All while the eyeball chillingness of the outside world got more powerful bit by bit. Tamarack still stayed about 2 steps ahead. Sometimes she was closer and sometimes she got away from you again. She used her stick to knock at the bushes and lamps along the sidewalk. She was next to you, but had switched things up so that he was taking large skips backwards. You guessed it was to look at you in the face better, or he just thought it was fun. I like her, not overall. Oh god damn it, what's it called again? He pointed out the sharpest building on the street as you went. Part of it looked almost like a tower, different kind than the one in the backyard. See, that's the house from the front. It's great. You have a pretty nice house. And that's your house, right? The one in the middle. And Granny owns that even further away one. Cool. The sound of your steps continued to echo through the cul-de-sac until you came to a stop right in the center of the path. You'd arrived. Tamarack both put both her hands up in front of her chest and waved them around. I'm going home. Tamarack spun in place before dashing further along the sidewalk to the sloped grey house on the other end of the neighborhood. Her bag clunked and jingled all at her side the whole way there. Bye! Okay, this is it. She pulled out an eager grin. I've got a meet-up again later. See ya. She flipped around to go back the same way he had come with you. He needed to return to the pointy red house with the huge backyard. He didn't drop any papers this time. He waited there in front of the house in the dimming evening light, watching the two other kids go to their homes right on the same street. Ooh, lighting changing. It was cool to meet you too. That was everything. The whole outing was done. In the quiet resolution of your first day in this place, the two encounters you had earlier that afternoon drifted through your head. Tamarack and Chew. Now you're at the stage where you'll get to set your dynamic with Tamarack and with Chew. Our Life Now and Forever has a specific way of constructing the personalized relationship you have with the two neighbors you grew up with. It's called dynamics. This encompasses how your character and that character feel about one another, and how they generally interact with each other. It doesn't determine if your character is shy or confident, or sociable or unsociable. That's done through the phrasing action, or you pick in normal choices. This is only setting how you and the other two leads tend to think or approach things from top-line level. These settings can be the same for both Tamarack and Chew, or be entirely different for one over the other. The first part of the dynamic system is what you set for your relationship standing. Your chosen relationship standing is always mutual with the other character. It's possible to change your standing at the start of each step, and even at certain points within a step, at least normally. There are some settings that can be changed once you pick them. The main options for your relationship standings are neighbors, friends, family, crushes, and beloveds. Neighbors means there's someone you know, and it's nothing more meaningful than that. Whether it's still amicable or completely cold or even hostile is up to you. Friends mean that you're friends. While understanding it's possible to go even deeper and have them be your very best friend. But that's not set on the dynamic screen, it's a normal choice. Family means that you truly love them and always keep them in your life in a fully platonic way. You can't choose to love someone this deeply until later steps once you've known them longer. You also won't be able to change the setting to anything else once you've picked it. It's completely certain and unwavering. You can bring both Tamarack and Chew into your proverbial family. Crushes means that you and them have crushes on each other. While understanding you can keep your feelings a secret and act as though you're only friends or best friends, what can be known that you're romantically interested. Later in the game you can also officially go steady with Tamarack or Chew. If you begin dating one of them, your standing of the dynamic screen will change to partners instead of crushes. It's possible to be crushing on Tamarack and Chew at the same time. For most of the game you can only get into an actual romantic relationship with one. In step 4, a polyamorous relationship can be pursued if you want. Oh, that's cool. The way that will work is that Chew and Tamarack would be in a committed platonic relationship with each other, and can be in committed platonic or romantic relationship with the MC. Chew and Tamarack won't be romantically involved with each other, regardless of the choices the MC makes. If you do date one or both, can't break up with them. Partner status can't go away once you get it. It's possible to change simply crushes to one of the other options if you want to. Beloveds mean that you truly love them and will always keep them in your life in a certainly romantic way. You can't choose to love someone this deeply until later steps once you've known them longer. You also won't be able to change the setting into anything else once you've picked. It's completely certain and unwavering. Like crushes, the romantic feelings can be known, a secret, or you can be official partners. If you're at this setting, you also unlock the possibility of getting engaged and changing your relationship standing to fiancés. There's no requirement to get married or even date. What you do or don't with your feelings of love is up to you. The elites will respect your set boundaries. If you are beloveds and make choices where you are hoping to get married, but haven't asked yourself, your partner can be the one to propose instead. The MC will accept the proposal by default because the game believes they want that. You can't convince your partner to think marriage is a good idea and then reject them when they pursue it. That's part one of dynamics. The second part is expression elements. This is how you, the other character, generally interact with the other. Like relationship standing, expression elements are determined separately for Tamarack and for Chu. It doesn't have to be the same for both. But expression elements don't have to be mutual between your character and Tamarack or Chu. They have their own ways of conveying themselves, and your character gets to have theirs. Expression elements are broken down further into 3 meters, or 3 choices per meter. Meter 1, deferring, teamworking, contesting. Meter 2, praising, unassuming, teasing. Meter 3, doting, accepting, admiring. For meter 1, you can use it to determine if your character is a follower or goes with the flow using deferring, a collaborator or compromiser using teamworking, or tries to be the leader or decision maker, whether the other person actually wants to follow them or not using contesting. For meter 2, it determines if your character is the type of person to go out of the way to make comments on the other person and what they do. If not, they're unassuming. Jesus Christ, this is a very in-depth tutorial. I get that they're trying to get people to understand everything, but do I really need to know everything right now, still in the demo, or would that maybe better be fit for the full game, is my question. Because this is very much explanation right now. That has nothing to do with the game that I'm playing right now. This would be more for the full version. You know what I'm getting? I know why they are trying to explain it right now, so people get a better sense for the full game later on, but does it have to be that lengthy? If so, the comments can be complimentary or even flirty if praising, or they can be joking or giving the other person a hard time if teasing. You get to control the phrasing intention through choices. Meter 3 can be set to determine how your character views Tamarack and Chu. Do they feel like they need to look out for them, or that they're on the same level as each other, or that the other person is more incredible than most? When you first meet Chu and Tamarack in the story, they go with the normal kind of behavior for their interactions with your character. Because of that, their expression elements are always the same in step 1. Step 1, Chu teamworking, teasing and doting. Step 1, Tamarack contesting, praising, accepting. As you spend more time with Tamarack and Chu, They get to know your character better, and in each other of the steps, the expression elements can change to match that. If, for example, you're friends with Tamarack and express displeasure whenever she insists on getting her way, she'll notice that. In step 2, instead of contesting, she could be teamworking with your character, or even deferring, depending on the details. The connection with your character will develop organically. Though in future steps, you also have the option of customizing the expression elements if you want to make sure your playthrough has specific feel. Starting in step 2, and if you're more than just neighbors or foes, expression element meter unlocks. Meter 4, envious of, not jealous, or jealous over. Envious of means that the other character is envious of the life, appearance, abilities, relationships, or something else of the other person, depending on the specifics involved. Jealous over means that they feel discomfort if they think the other person seems to like someone else more, or isn't spending as much time with them as normal and such. The jealousy meter does nothing but let you add more negative feelings or relationship competition interactions as an extra element of drama to your life. By default, true Tamarack and you will always be not jealous, which skips all that. You see, this is with something step 4 would entail. I don't need to know that right now. It's a bit lengthy. I'm actually considering just skipping all the stuff in the video that you don't need to know and just cutting around everything, because this is so much information. So much information that I don't need right now. I wonder why they put it in here. I mean, it's maybe for the player to get a better feel for the full game later on, but this is so much. Hey, I'm usually teamworking and praising and accepting. I'd say friends. Again, teamworking. I'd say unassuming. But still accepting. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I like Tamarack a bit better, didn't you? Oh, you know what? Let's do friends. Things were so different for you from just that morning when you left and went on a drive to move. Before then, never been in Golden Grove. You'd seen it only in pictures and hadn't known anybody who was a local in there. But here you were, a person who lived in the town and was friends with the neighbors on both sides of your house, who also lived here. Were you friends? I thought so. Minnie, is it you? Your mom called from over the fence. Coming! You bounded forward and passed through the gate. Mom had left the porch and was there to meet you. Thank you for coming back. I'm sure you were having an exciting time out there. Squeeze the legs and say, I wish I didn't go. I met people, kids my age. So glad. I look forward to hearing all about it. From strength to strength. We've got the key to the house. The agent finally arrived about 20 minutes ago. He's gone now, but I haven't peeked yet. Both of us should be here for this. It's your house too. Yeah, this is our house now. Absolutely. Come on. Mom turned to go and slipped the key out from her sweater pocket. She gestured with the other hand for you to follow. Your mom led the way as you went back upstairs. The key fit perfectly into the hole on the door, and Mom smiling at the sound of an unlocking click. Carefully, she leaned forward with her shoulder, giving it a nudge, unsure if the best option for the ancient door was extra force or extra strength. A house opened with a creak. Air came out through the front like it was exhaling. Mom let out a breath at the same time. Over here, Minnie. There's space for you to get a little closer. You can see inside here. You scooched towards your mom's side in the doorframe. It was then that you noticed there was a mat at the front. It had a light color and kinda hard but fluffy texture. The sort of mat that get dirty looking right away when it was used. But it was still clean and nice. It hadn't been worn down at all like the rest of the building. This part of the house wasn't just an old thing left behind by other people who didn't need it or want it anymore. Someone must have put it in there for this happening, for your mum and you moving in. Written across the top it said, "Welcome home." Mum softly tapped the top of your shoulder, bringing you back into the moment. She kept the hand there, leading you ahead with her. The two of you walked through the door. Everything in the air was still. The wind was blocked, but it was practically as cold as inside as it was out of the house. Got it. Dim light from the ceiling sparked on an instant. And then in front of you was an old-fashioned living room. The house had furniture that came along with it, but it wasn't a set. The pieces were mismatched. Each chair, table, and bookshelf in a different color. They were covered in transparent sheets of plastic and the dust. The room had a real fireplace made out of brick. In the back you could see a staircase going up to another floor. Beautiful. It's even better than the photos. So much potential inside these walls. Could fit in a storybook. Was the worst house in the world. Blew your old apartment out of the water. I had to admit, it was cooler than you had let yourself before. Your mom touched the tips of her fingers to the muted blue paint next to her. You'll have to clean as much as we can to make it livable before bed. It'll be a long night. We can unpack more of our things tomorrow, though I'll be doing much of that on my own. You're going to be busy. Mom increased the pitch of her voice, squinting her eyes sweetly. After all, it's the first day of 5th grade. I got lost in thought, imagining what it might be like. She chuckled gently while watching you. We got here just in time, Mom. Her eyes drifted closed, and there was a crease in her brows. She seemed further away without having gone anywhere. Even if I am here early for the job, I was not going to make you be a full week late to class. Being new to a town like this is already going to make you a point of attention. Couldn't tell if she thought that was a good thing or bad thing by her tone, but Mom didn't say any more about that. She lifted her circle scarf over her head, carefully not to have it catch on her earrings, and left it top of her suitcase. So, want to see the upstairs? Yeah. The second floor was more of the same. Lonely, sealed away rooms of furniture nobody had been using for ages, that were covered up by plastic sheets, and lots of dust. You could see the footprints your mum left behind in the grime as she wandered the halls with wide, amazed eyes. After checking the state of the whole house, Mum made the decision to leave the furniture in its protection until after the sweeping was finished. There were too many dust bunnies that might jump over to take a seat on your couches if a spot was available. I hope I can remember where I put the dustpan. The broom itself shouldn't be hard to find. Returned to the living room after Mum got her trusty pair of crafting scissors out of her suitcase. She put her scarf inside it when taking the scissors out. Mum then went through some of the taped up boxes like it was her birthday, and each one was a shiny, unopened present with a ribbon on top. But her gift was just stuff she already owned. Not the good crafting scissors. Oh no. One by one, she took out the supplies that had been brought for this very moment, setting them around her legs on the floor, wherever there was space. Then she divided them out into separate piles. A pair of yellow gloves, a fluffy fresh duster, a bottle of cleaning spray, and a full roll of paper towels. Mum had a set of her own. The other was for you. You were going to need them. There was only one broom and dustpan that she did successfully find. You were going to take turns using that. The first move in the make the house a place people can actually live in plan was yanking open the streaky windows to get some airflow going. Though before even that, you had to get the locks of the window themselves to come loose. You dug your fingers in between the base of the window frame, and the latch pressed against it, forcing it to move against its will. When the lock clicked into place on the opposite side, you shoved the window up with both your hands. The glass was already patchy with filth. The icy crisp breeze that flowed up in from the outside was a lot more welcome at this point. You got a good look at the neighborhood while catching your breath. Streetlights had come on. But you then left the window there to do its job and go back to do yours. The two of you went back and forth and up and down around the house to open up everything that you could. Some windows were jammed in place so tight you had to leave it alone for your mom to get to later. The next point on the list was to somehow scrub down all the floors, walls, counters, and every other inch of space where dust could settle, which was every inch of the entire house. You picked the spot and gave it a sweep with the fuzzy head of the duster, and thus a nice line of clear wood followed behind your motion. That pattern continued for a while, and whenever the dust layer was gone from a spot, you'd go back over it again with the cleaning spray to really make it shine. Your mom was able to track down and turn on the heater, not that you could tell the difference with all the windows wide open. Eventually, you had a short dinner break with your mom, standing around in the kitchen together with the two of you as dusty as the rest of the house. This was packed meals from the car. Simple sandwiches, fruits with thick peels that wouldn't get smashed on the drive, little bags of granola and pretzels, and juice boxes. There were no groceries. The rickety fridge was off and totally empty when you checked. It was a relief that there was nothing gross in there, and it was disappointing that there was nothing gross in there. To be honest, it would depend on the gross. Like if there was animal head in there, that wouldn't be cool. But if it's just dirt and, I don't know, old food or something, I don't need that. Relieved that there was nothing gross in there. I had prepared for the worst for such an old, practically abandoned house, but there wasn't a single bottle of nasty ketchup or box of unknown leftovers or anything. Okay, yeah. No, I don't need that. Trash from your food was dumped into the same giant black garbage bag that you'd been throwing piles of grey-stained paper towels and wets of squished together tape in for the whole night. Somehow the bag was getting full, even though it was big enough to fit your whole body inside. It was a mark of how much work you'd already done. Looking at just the house made you think you hadn't even got started. The only way to change this was to keep going, as your mum talked about when encouraging herself to clean again after dinner. You and your mum polished up the house as best as you could for even more hours. But when your usual bedtime arrived, Mum put the dust and the scissors down. She wasn't gonna have you stay up late, no matter how excited she was to unpack. She guided you to the first floor bathroom. The ones on the second floor were too dirty to use, plucking her overnight bag off the counter along the way. Your mum explained how she'd do around throughout the whole house to close the windows to keep busy until the bathroom was free, left you to go get ready to sleep. Inside the bag was a little baby-sized versions of normal toothpaste and mouthwash containers and simple toothbrushes. All you had for pajamas that night was a green long-sleeved shirt with matching pants. You got as clean as you possibly could with only a sink to use. Trying to get the grimy feeling off your skin wasn't easy. It took way longer than usual, but it was crucial. You took your glasses off for bed. Then you changed into the PJs and let your mum have her turn. While she was away, can I have a book? Stuffed animal it is. Wasn't something you could sleep without. The furniture was still plastic wrapped, so you crouched down and sat on the rug. Mum returned in only a couple of minutes wearing her purple pajamas, and she also had a sleeping bag tucked under each of her arms. She shifted one forward to hold against the front of her chest and dropped the other onto the floor. It landed with a puff. That'll be mine. Your mum noted while trying to untie the band that kept the sleeping bag together in a roll. She pulled and pitched and did not. But it didn't budge. She lifted the bundle to her face and used her teeth to pry the threaded bands apart from each other. She got it loose and victoriously flapped the bag all the way open. She laid it down on a clear spot on the wooden floor. There you are, Minnie, all ready. Okay. You used your feet and rocked back and forth to move yourself across the antique rock, scooting towards the sleeping bag without getting off the ground. Mom chatted casually while spreading out her own bag nearby. We'll need to get some wood so we can actually use that fireplace on nights like these. Did your mom know how to use a fireplace? Never seen one in person until now. And so far you'd never seen one that had fire in it. Luckily, the house was warm and cozy even without that, since the windows stopped letting the chill in. The heater worked. That was sort of a surprise to you. Mum soon settled down on the center of her temporary bed. She sat cross-legged with her back solidly straight. Her hands came to rest on the tops of her knees, and she made direct eye contact with you. Thank you for the help with the house today. It'll be home before we know it at this rate. I'm so tired. I can understand that. She slouched her shoulders, easing away some of the stiffness. Could I tell you about what happened today? I loved that, dear. With your mum's encouragement, you began to narrate the entire story of the paper airplane adventure. From the moment it hit to the way it led you down into the forest crossroad, finding Tamarack in her leaf pile and all her surprises. Meeting Chu on his tower with his notebook full of loose pages. Mom listened with her whole self, leaning forward and grinning wider with each new turn you revealed. Wrapped it up by explaining how you returned to the neighborhood with Chu and Tamarak after everything you'd discovered. What a way to spend an afternoon. I'm proud of you, Minnie. You're a bona fide detective. I had no idea you'd gotten into such a winding journey. It kicked your legs up and down your sleeping bag, very pleased with her reaction. It was a fun story to tell. Somehow the events of the day felt like they were a long time ago, so that they happened to someone else and you just heard about it. But it had been real. The paper airplane hit your shoulders, you held a note in your hands, and you saved that paper with your fingers as a keepsake. It had nice memories that went with it. With your topic all done, Mom softly spoke up to share her own thoughts with you. It's odd imagining this entire building collecting dust for all this time, isn't it? No one wanted to live here. No renters. Not the man who owned it. But it's a charming house. Yeah, it is. How did we get to have something like this? Mom pinched her lips together in consideration, and she kept talking. There aren't a lot of opportunities out in these woods, I suppose. My company, the retiring of the former HR manager, was the first big position I've ever heard of for this area. And even that didn't open up for the people already living in the town. I was asked to relocate to take the position. Creases grew around her eyes the more she thought about it. She caught herself before a frown could follow. Oh, but it's not an issue. I'm grateful. We'll find our place in the slow pace of Golden Grove. And at least we'll have each other regardless. It's great we have each other. It certainly is. And your mum stretched her legs out fully across the sleeping bag, wiggling her toes inside the black socks she had on. Seeing Mum right there on the floor with you was cool. You didn't hang out together during bedtime like this most nights. It was special. And you thought about that. As you thought about that, your eyelids were trying to tape themselves up with the sticky, gritty stuff your eyes made when it was extra late. Right, dear. You should get inside the sleeping bag now, before you blink out on top of it. It sounded like a pretty good idea. Scooping your stuffed animal into both your arms, you shimmied into the open end of the bag. It was made out of fabric that was so smooth it wasn't difficult to do. You moved farther down until the edge was to your chin. You were wrapped up like a loaf of bread in a grocery bag. Mum got to her feet, taking a short jog over to the far wall of the room. She lifted a finger to the light switch but kept her gaze down on you. The expression on her face was gentle. Good night, Minnie. Good night, Mum. The room went pitch black with a click. While your eyes were trying to adjust, you heard the shuffling sounds of Mum. She joined you on the floor again. Those noises soon stopped. Mum didn't talk anymore. There weren't sounds of cars passing outside. There was a thumping in your ears, and you thought you might have heard a creak somewhere. The night noises were a lot different than what you had experience with. They were so quiet and distant. It made you notice them more than if they were clearer. You'd have to get to know the sounds better. It was another part of the host's personality. You were okay with that. It was normal to need time to get familiar with each other. You pressed your eyes shut. In your head was thoughts of Chu and Tamarak. You tossed and turned in the squishy cocoon, wanting to sleep so tomorrow would come sooner, but too excited to do so. It was way too long of a night. Then your second day in Golden Grove arrived. To change what you were wearing during the game. You'll also be able to take off accessories like hats and scarves during certain in-game moments. If you don't want to bother with changing the outfit, you can toggle these sections from the details screen. Turning off the dress up sections means what layers you choose to take off and keep wearing when you get to school will be your preference for what you wear indoors for the rest of step 1. Would you like to see the dress up section? Since in the future I want to pick my own outfit. But I will stop the recording here. This went on for way longer than I thought. Is this a demo? You sure? Jesus Christ. But my god, this is so cute. And it's so cozy and comfy. It's so feel good. I really like this game so far. And even though this is a game that I probably wouldn't play on the channel because of all the talking I'd have to do, and I don't know, it's hard for me to talk that much in a video. It's a strain on my voice, it's mentally, actually, it's exhausting a bit. Like, non-stop talking. It's a bit exhausting for me still. So, yeah, I don't know if I would play this whole game on my channel, but I would definitely play this on my own. And this is so cute, and I'm definitely looking forward to getting to know the game better. I don't know actually, is it already out fully? Hold on. Okay, so no, it's not out yet, and it also doesn't have a release date. Our Life Beginnings and Always is already out. And like they said, the base game is free, but after that you'd have to buy the next ones. This is so cute, and I love the setting, the autumn setting. Oh god. I'm really happy that I played this, and like I said, I'm looking forward to the full release. I will stop the recording here for now. I've played all of it. This is not a demo. This is the first chapter of the whole game. Boy howdy. So as of right now, I have about 10 hours locked into this demo. I have to admit, I did sometimes take a break while playing it, so that's why I'm deducting just 2 hours off of it. So let's say this demo took about 8 hours. 8 hours! Listen, I love me some free content, don't get me wrong, but if you put demo in it, I personally expect nothing more than, like, I don't know, 2 hours max, maybe? Like, if it's very generous. This damn. Okay, so let me get into what you basically missed with me not playing it on screen. I think in the portion that I played on screen, we had our first day with Tamarak and Jill, right? Like, we meet them the first time outside in the forest and then go home again and unpack some stuff, yeah. So basically, there's a whole nother day, your first day of school. you get to play the first day of school, which is very lengthy. And even after that, you get to play like a side quest portion where you go into the woods with all of your new friends. You meet some new friends in school as well through Chew, and later on you meet with them again and go into the woods to play. So that's another, let's say, 2 hours. Plus, you get to like a teaser. You get to play a little teaser of step 2, where you are teenagers, like 4 years later, which apparently will not be implemented into the game exactly as it is right now. So beware of that. But yeah, if you want to play this for yourself, I'm going to provide a link down in the description below, of course, like always. What is my opinion to this game? This is very cute, very wholesome. It was interesting also to see how the characters develop. Like, get a little sneak peek into that with the step 2 teaser. But yeah, just be aware how long this demo is if you want to play this. I do recommend it. For me personally, it was a bit lengthy, and I'm going to explain why. There was at some times so much text, so much explanations that I personally thought were a bit too much. Of course, with a visual novel, you have to explain what the characters are doing because it's not always showing it. But those explanations were so detailed sometimes that it was almost getting boring. It was almost getting in the way of the story. Sometimes I've read my fair share of classical novels, and sometimes I feel like they are a bit stretched as well. They are a bit hard to get through. And sometimes I had that feeling with Our Life Now and Forever as well. I will be playing this if the full release comes out. It's adorable. What's a bit weird to me personally also is the idea of 10-year-olds trying to develop romantic feelings. It can be very romantic, like you meet your middle school sweetheart, and they're the only one you will ever need in your life, whatever. Really? Already at 10? I don't know. I can only assume from my own experience, but when I was 10, don't know if I ever had. Maybe with 12, 13, I slowly developed romantic feelings. It was mostly for fictional characters. Me as a grown up playing this as a 10-year-old basically, and trying to wrap my head around a 10-year-old's idea of romanticism. For me personally, it's a bit weird, but that may be just me. So, hey, if you can do it and play this game, great. I think this would be perfect then for you. But I'm, even in my own playthrough, I don't know if I would ever already try to develop romantic feelings for any of the characters this early. Just like my personal opinion, just putting it out there. This was, like I said, very cozy, very adorable. If you like visual novels, this is a very cute one, very wholesome. Well, it's... Let's be real here. We only played the child's section, which pretty much is always wholesome. So I don't know if it will stay like that, because with the glimpse into the step 2, it became a bit more advanced, feeling wise, if that makes sense. The characters became a bit more complex. Of course, they're growing up. It's what people do. They become more complex, more themselves, grow more into themselves. But yeah, it was interesting to see the little switch up that happened there. Not to spoil too much for you. But yeah, like I said, if you want to play this for yourself, I'll provide the link in the description. You'll find it there to Steam, I think. I don't think they're anywhere else. But yeah, Steam link down there. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. And yeah, I hope I'll be able to provide you soon with so many more games. It's October. It's very cozy right now. I love me. I already brought out my Halloween cup. I have some very, very hot apple tea in it from Turkey, and I'm very excited to drink it now. I love October. I love fall. I love autumn. Anyway, like I said, thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.